Hi guys, on Thursday the Bank of England raised interest rates by half a percentage point to bring it to 1.75%. This is the biggest rise in 27 years. And unfortunately, I think it will add to the pain people are going through, not ease it. Raising interest rates makes borrowing more expensive, which in turn curbs investment. Central banks normally do this when the economy is overheating, not when you're facing a recession. What usually happens during an economic downturn is that central banks cut interest rates to boost growth. The current problem is that you have high inflation without the economy overheating. What the Bank of England should be doing is cutting interest rates. Now in step the Tories, who want to take over the Bank of England and do more damage.
OK, you say that the economy is one of your priorities and Liz Truss's priorities. Well, the Bank of England is expected to put up interest rates today, possibly as much as by 0.5%. That would be the biggest rise for 27 years. Liz Truss has made a lot of spending commitments. She wants to cut taxes to the tune of around £30 billion. She says she'll pay for that through economic growth. Are you worried that higher interest rates will dampen that growth and she won't be able to pay for these promises?
No, interest rates should have been raised a long time ago, and the Bank of England has been too slow in this regard.
So you would have actually increased interest rates faster and higher, but the whole idea of increasing interest rates is to cool the economy, is to slow growth. And these Tories are talking about, yeah, we need to increase interest rates and that will boost growth. What? It's like saying pressing the brake on the car will make it go faster.
Interest rates have a really important gravitational pull on the value of assets, and it's really important to curb inflation. So actually, it's very welcome that the Bank of England is increasing interest rates now.
But this is not going to curb inflation because the inflation is driven from external factors. For example, rising energy prices, which are not within the control of the UK government. Brexit, which in a certain aspect is, and other factors. Some factors are within the control of the UK government. They can actually do something about it. But when it comes to external energy prices, there's very little you can do about that.
Now, but what we really need to do, and this is why Liz has got the right plan for dealing with cost of living challenges, is that we've got to ensure that we review the Bank of England's mandate. She's very interested in looking at how the Bank of England operates, maintaining its independence, of course.
She's going to review its mandate, but it's going to be independent. How is it independent if she's going to review its mandate? If she's going to say, you can do this or you can do that. Look, this is an attempt, of course, to take over the Bank of England. But the problem with that is you no longer can blame the Bank of England. See, the Bank of England has, like other central banks, very limited scope when it comes to dealing with, for example, the cost of living crisis or the economy in general. This is the responsibility of the government, not the Bank of England. And the Tories like to blame the Bank of England, or the Bank of England is not raising interest rates fast enough or enough, or it's too slow to reduce them or whatever. But it's fiscal policy that is decided by government. The Bank of England is very limited. All it can do is raise or lower interest rates. That's all. It's your responsibility to get the economy moving, not theirs.
But also ensuring that it's much better placed and more responsive in the future to economic challenges like the type we're seeing at the moment. The challenge that we're facing at the moment is the fight against global inflation. Raising interest rates is a lever that the Bank of England has in that fight. Reducing public spending is another, and cutting taxes so that families and businesses can grow their way out of the challenges is a very important step forward, and that's why Liz is a standout candidate for me, because she's forthright on the absolute need to cut taxes.
But
cutting taxes will reduce public services. It's important that people remember that when the government spend money, and it's spent in the correct way, it creates jobs. It creates investment. For example, think about a bridge. The government, private companies struggle to build bridges, but if the government says we're going to build a bridge, you need architects, you need material, you need workers. this, for every pound you spend, you add about 3 to the economy. This is why it's important that you have government investment, you have government spending money in the economy. What the Tories want to do is cut that.
Taxes is inflationary.
Cutting taxes is going to be very important for families. So when we look at the cost of living...
I'm sure that many families will be welcoming the idea of tax cuts, but it'll allow them to spend more money. It's inflationary.
Well, not necessarily, because actually what we're going to see if we do lower the tax burden... Now, don't forget, we've got the highest tax burden in 70 years. People say we can't afford to cut taxes. Liz thinks, and I agree with her, that we can't afford not to cut taxes.
OK, but this makes no sense to me. I'm not an economist, OK? So it'd be better for an economist to respond to this. But you're talking about reducing inflation and you're talking about cutting taxes. But if you cut taxes, the idea being that you give people more money. But if people have more money, what are they going to do? They're going to spend it. And what's that going to do? That's going to increase inflation. I don't actually think that's the normal, in a normal society, in a normal situation. That's what normally happens. You cut taxes, people have more money, they spend it in the economy. But this drives inflation. So cutting taxes is not going to reduce inflation. Increasing interest rates will reduce inflation in a normal situation, but we're not in a normal situation because, as she said here, inflation is global. European Union countries are also facing a recession because of inflation. I don't think these people understand what they're talking about. And I'm not in a position really to challenge them because I'm not an economist. But you can't say on the one hand, we're going to cut taxes to bring down inflation when the whole scope, the whole goal of cutting taxes is to give people more money and therefore increase inflation. This makes no sense to me.
If we cut taxes, we're going to free up businesses to invest more in their research and development, employ more people, lower their costs. And that's only going to be good for the economy. They're going to generate more revenue to the exchequer. That's going to generate more economic growth.
But businesses will not invest if they don't have the money. If most of their money is going away because of inflation, they're not going to invest more. And you're not going to see investment if you're increasing interest rates. She, at the beginning of this, said the central bank, the Bank of England, should be increasing interest rates. Should be going faster. So you want businesses to invest, but you want to increase interest rates to curb that investment. Once again, I don't know what she's trying to sell here. It seems nonsensical. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.